This is an Ellis Mowers and More small engine repair. Stay connected on Instagram and Facebook at Ellis Mowers and More. Comments or questions? Leave them below or email me, ellis@ellismowers.com. Parts used in today's repair are found using the links in the description below. And as always, like and subscribe for more small engine content. On today's repair, we're doing another small engine that I don't really work on very much, but I made an exception for this one. This is a retro 50cc scooter moped. I don't know if it's a Tao or whatever brand it is. Maybe I can find a sticker or model or something on it. But been off the road for a little while now. It was a guy's dad's, and he, I guess the dad passed away or something, and the guy just wants to get it going again. It has exactly 2,000 miles on it, which is crazy. 2,000.4. This thing has been sitting a while, though. It has been sitting a while. The gas reeks in it. So what I've got to do, it's not getting any, what it may be its saving grace is, it's not funneling any gas down to the carburetor. So I don't know if I've got something going on with the actual tank that's blocked off because of so much rust or something like that. So I got to get the tank out of this thing, see if we can get it clean in some form or fashion so that we can get it back on and hopefully get fuel flowing to the carburetor, and hopefully nothing got in the carburetor and this thing will run. I did have to put a battery in it. Had a battery here which worked beautifully for it. So it does turn over. Turn signals work, headlights do not. So it's something in the switch that's causing it. Or it's possible that the headlights don't run unless the engine is on to help keep the battery. I don't know. But either way, I'm going to get into it. I got to take a lot of this off right here. And a lot of this plastic stuff is starting to crack and fade. So I got to be really, really careful with that. We've already got a turn signal marker on the front there that's broke off. So I've got to make sure that I don't break anything else off getting this rear fender off. So I'm going to go ahead and roll with that after I give you all a quick look around of this retro scooter. So here it is. I could probably access the carburetor and everything through this hole right here because it's right there with the throttle and stuff. But I know I need to at least take this off, these two screws, two 10mm bolts, and it looks like these two 10mm on the back. I mean, it's a decent scooter for what it is. One of the turn signals has broke here. And the thing is, like this cheap plastic, there's really nothing you can do aside from like some glue and, you know, we got some self-tapper or some screws right here that got that back on. But again, like, it's not worth a full cosmetic restoration, although the guy requested me to do some cosmetic repairs to it. I will do enough to make it legal, road legal to drive again, make it look pretty decent. I got to clean that sap off of the windshield as well. The product of living around pine trees, right? So I'm going to take this off. I can show you that, where's the key at? Right here. I'll turn this on. And we've got turn signals, as you can see, and it will put the brake in. So it will turn over, so that's good. So it shouldn't have to do anything electrical or anything with this, hopefully. We'll just see what we can do with what we got here. So I'm going to get all of these screws and bolts and stuff off and just the back panel so that we can access everything a little bit better. Okay, so we're getting this off. Again, it's literally just a bunch of screws and 10mm gets you to this point right here. The carburetor's tucked way down here, so I don't know if we've got to do something with the carb or not, but what we've got is the gas tank up here will pull it off. You have to unplug some plugs as well for like the tail lights and turn signals and things along those lines. But let's see, we have one more bolt right there. And is that going to get our gas tank off? Yes. Alright, so now what we've got is a heavily varnished gas tank. I mean, it's bad. But there's no fuel flowing, so I'm wondering if this little, it's not a fuel pump though, I don't think. We've got this device here, which is an oil that's filled with oil. I'm trying to figure out where it goes. I guess it goes directly in the engine and it two strokes it right there. But yeah, so we'll see what we've got here with taking the tank off. I got to get the fuel line off right there, but I think it's just blocked. So let me grab this. We'll see if I can take this off. Probably got to put new fuel lines on it regardless, but so I got to take these lines off, which they're going to break, but wow. Alright, so fuel filter line goes to the top piece, and this line is the vent line, goes to the bottom. Okay. You can see there's no gas coming out at all. So I don't know if it's not a shut-off on here. I think it's just flat blocked. Or I'm not familiar with these mopeds, so there could be something else. And I don't do any research before I start working on these. I learn as I go, a lot of times. So I'm going to pour this varnish out. It is nasty. Absolutely nasty. It smells terrible, looks terrible. And let's see. You can see rust in the tank and stuff. And we'll see if we can get something flowing through here. And if we can, maybe we'll be able to at least get it to where it will run. Hopefully the carb isn't gummed completely up. That's wishful thinking, but we'll see. Well, I just poured the tank out. I didn't show you all the gas in the tank, but there's the filter. Wow. So hopefully I can blow this out with either some compressed air or some carb spray, get all this cleaned up, but then I've got to take the tank and wash it or do something to it because it is absolutely nasty. Let me see if I can. I don't have any carb spray in this, so I may have to grab another one, but let's see if we can get anything to flow. No, not yet. I may see if I can clean it a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Got that blockage cleared out of there. Whew. Yeah, that one's out. But I'm going to continue to clean this and we'll wash it out. Wow. Like I said, a ton of rust in the tank. Hopefully we can get most of the large chunks and stuff out of it. Might even price out a new tank. I feel like the tank itself's going to be $100. But see if we can get all this cleaned a little bit. Make it look a little bit better. And hopefully not get clogged up again. Okay, so I washed out the tank. Sprayed this with some carb spray. Got the ignition on currently. Let me show y'all this before we go any further. So we are getting gas out. I do still have water in it. So what I'm going to do is just take the vent tube off. I'm going to drain this gas out. I'm going to unscrew that and then mount this tank back up and see if we can get this thing to run. Since we know we're pumping fuel, it doesn't look like it's it's turning brown or anything, so that's good. Like I said, I'm just going to drain that out, take that little piece off right there one more time. So it is an actual fuel pump on this. And I may just tip it over. Put a little bit more fresh gas in it, hook everything back up, and see if we can get this thing to start. Hopefully it does. Hopefully I don't have to pull the carb on this, but I don't think that I'm going to be that lucky, unfortunately. Alright, let's see what this thing will do. Maybe it'll do something. It does have oil in it, so hopefully everything's good there. Got it in the on position already, and we should be able to see this fill up pretty quickly. So it is filling up, which is good. And hopefully, I don't think there's a choke or anything on this thing, although it does have a horn. It doesn't seem like we're going to get it to go. Which is kind of unfortunate. That probably means I gotta pull the carb off, which involves pulling off more panels, I think. I think I gotta pull this panel off after that, but we'll see. Yeah, that's too bad. Because it's getting fuel to it now, which is good. That poor battery's about done trying to start it. So, as I expected, I've got to take the carb off of this thing. See what I got to do with it. Looks like I've got some linkage right here. Oh, that's going to be a pain to take off because that's the whole tray right there that I've got to pull in order to get the carb, or to get that side off. I may not even try to bother doing that. I think I can access everything that I need to from right here. It's just terrible access, really. So we'll pull that, put that throttle mechanism aside right there. I wonder, before I get into this, if I can spray a little bit of juice down the top of this throttle here. If it'll ignite. Yeah. That's good. There we go. So yeah, we got something going on with the carb. Gotta get that sorted out. Maybe even still got a fuel delivery issue to the carb. We'll see. Once we get this thing off. Let's see, so I just pull that little rubber piece off of the air box, it looks like. So that is the air box. Down here, it looks like. So, let's see. We got a strip screw, so that's good. And what else have we got here? A little module. There's not really much y'all can see, is there? But, we got that little module right there. We've got this hose that we've got to get off. So we've got that off, which is good. And then I wonder if I can just take these two screws off and get this off, or is there a plug? There is. Okay. We got what, 2 lines? We got this little bitty line here running to it. And this must be the main fuel line. It is. Okay. Guess you never know how to work on something till you try, right? This was a, I mean, everything seems alright with this, so let's just double check to make sure we had gas going to the, aw, she's gonna be, could have a clogged fuel filter. Let me grab my jump box here, since we don't have enough go with the battery, unfortunately. These little batteries don't last very long trying to crank them. I may have to pull it off to even jump it. Might have something there. Let's see. Nope. So I'm not even getting gas to it again, so I've probably got a clog in the fuel line somewhere. No, I don't have a clog in the fuel line. It may have just... Tell me how it ran like that, though. But not getting any fuel to come out of here again, so we got fuel pump. Oh, that's because I don't have the... That's because I don't have the pulse line. It's silly. But, hey, it ran for a brief second there, didn't it? It's kind of crazy. So we'll turn that off. We'll pull. Let's see, is this fuel filter? Feels like it's okay. Part of me is tempted to just put it back down there for a second. See what it might do. Because there's a what? The vent line. Hooks to the pulse of something somewhere, doesn't it? Because it's got to feed off of a pulse. So I guess it hooked right there. And then I'll hook the fuel line back up. It's all a messy little thing here. Actually, I don't have to hook the fuel line back up. I can see if it's pulsing like that. So yeah, it's not pulsing again. So of course I probably don't have this hooked into the right spot either. So I got to do a little bit of investigating, obviously. I got to get this pulse line hooked back up where it's supposed to be, and then hook the fuel line up where it needs to be hooked up as well. So I'm going to keep on working on that, and I will get back to y'all once I get it all sorted. Well, we're going to take this carb off here, and I think there's just a ton of varnish on it. If I can not recall, but I can see it coming off of the bowl. Actually, there's not. It's just not getting. Almost looks like it's not getting fuel into it or something. It had just a little tiny bit in there. It didn't smell varnish, so I'm wondering if the fuel pump got clogged again. So I might try to, let's see, I might try and blow that out one more time. Oh, that's not clogged anymore, so, and I don't know, because the carb looks clean in here. I may just spritz it with some carb spray very quickly, put it back together, but I don't know. Use a little bit of wire here just to make sure everything's clear. Oh yeah, that's definitely clear. And this right here, let's see. Yeah, that's definitely clear. So getting some sort of either pulse problem or fuel delivery problem or something like that. I guess the other area that I haven't done is this. It seems like it might have some varnish in it, but so let's see. Well, it should just come down here from the fuel line intake, which is, I'm going to go back and look. Can't recall which side it comes in. This piece right here looks like it's kind of clogged, so I don't know if that's something that could cause an issue or what. See, there's some varnish in there. I don't know exactly where that comes out to. Wherever it comes out, I just cleaned it though, because it's coming out of the intake there. So I don't know, y'all. I'm going to put it back together, see if I can get the fuel to pump into this again. And I mean, I don't really see another reason why it won't run. So it just doesn't seem like it's pulling gas in like it needs to. We shall see though. So see if we can get it running here after I put it all back together. Alright, so I put the carb back on. It isn't terrible. You just got to put the throttle back on. That slides down in there, a little vent tube, and it looks like the vent tube goes right here, and then the fuel line. I think this fuel line may be a tad long, so that may be what was contributing to some issues. Alright, so I just had it to kick over. I want to see if it'll kick over for us one more time and just let it run for a little while. So start. I do want to check, I'm sure I shouldn't have ran it as long as I did, but the oiling function, it kind of looks like we're getting some, hopefully. Let's see. Where are we on this? So it comes in like this, goes over here. Where does that go, though? It goes into the engine, actually, so it should be getting some oil. There's plenty of it in there. I don't know how old it is, but there's plenty of it in there. Man. Let's see. Turn the switch back on, see if it'll crank. I think it's still starving for fuel, though. So it almost acts like it's man, look at that oil trail. Woo! Y'all can see it there. It's almost acting like it's getting too much oil down in there. So I don't know if there's like an oil, man, I don't even know. If it's like an oil or, reservoir or something that I can change the amount of oil it's getting, or if it's just something blowing out in it. And that's just making a mess of my garage right now. But at least I know the fuel side of it is good. I gotta figure out why this is happening though. And of course we can't run it without oil, so it's like getting too much. So I gotta figure out why that is the case. It's kind of a shame because I'll sit here and idle all day. As soon as you get a gas though, it throws the oil to it. So that part of the running problem is still existing though. We got too much oil coming out of the exhaust, which I don't know what fix that is for, but I'll do a little bit of research. We'll see what we can find about it, and hopefully get something, get a solution for it, so that this thing can run good again. But hey, at least we got the fuel portion of it, I believe, sorted out, which is really good. Well, I put the air filter on it and everything. I mean, it's running great now. Any sort of like, because this is one of them, it mixes in like a boat, so it doesn't mix in right here, it goes down in the engine somewhere and mixes in. So I'm not sure exactly what to do about that. The reservoir for the oil, I'm wondering if that's just a bunch of oil that got built up over time or something. I don't know. But I've let it sit here run for a good, probably 7-8 minutes. Of course, I got to clean up. But we'll get there. It's running fantastic though, just smoking like crazy for some reason. And so I guess, I mean, I don't know. Do I take it out and do I take it up and down the driveway, I guess? Put the panels back on so that I can at least ride it? Or at least put the seat on it. So I don't do this to my garage or what? But, I mean, it's just crazy how much. Literally just shooting it out of the exhaust. So and most of the two-strokes I find have don't have the separate oil container. So let me see if I can adjust that mix a little bit, because I think that mess is going to foul the plug here if I keep going like that. But it's crazy because once I put the air box back on, it was just sucking too much air and it was choking it out. Put the air box on, this thing's running great. It's just, again, blowing oil all over the place. So let me just figure out what I can do to potentially remedy this oil situation. Well, after I shot that last clip, I ended up having some problems with spark for some reason. and it ended up being the coil wire. And the coil wire, I had to take this panel off. It's one of those things where I just started getting frustrated, so I just did it. I took the coil wire off and cleaned it all up and stuff, and I realized that we have a manual kickstart on this thing. So what I've realized is I don't know, it's kind of got a little bit of oil splashage still, but it's much better now. So also I took the tire off the rim on this side, so that's great. I got to put that back in. Looks like it may just be a tube anyway, so that'll be easy. But I'm going to inflate the tires, and we'll just kind of ride this thing up and down the driveway a little bit. See how well it rides, and if everything seems sorted, then I may go ahead and put it all back together, charge the battery up and whatnot, and see what I can do with that. Yeah, so should be good there, hopefully. Alright, got tires on, or don't have tires on it, but got the tires inflated. Oh. And it kicks over great now. It was running really good, and then I had that spark issue. The smoke seems like it's kind of fixed itself too. I'm not very good on these things, but we'll let's see. Ride it up the driveway at least. But I read that, see, this is how little I know about these mopeds. I didn't realize that they do discharge some oil out of the exhaust, even in good running condition. So it's doing that still, but it's not smoking anymore, as you can see, which is good. And it does have oil in it, so. Again, if I was doing it more in my drive than just my driveway here, I'd put a helmet on. I'm just kind of running. Yeah. I mean, so one thing I did do, I don't know if it made any difference, is I tried to find some adjustments on this thing. And one of the adjustment screws is right there that I think adjusts like the fuel air. And I leaned it out a little bit, and that seems to have remedied whatever was going on. So let me get this thing up here. I'll ride it down the driveway a little bit so that y'all can see it running. And then I'm probably gonna put all the panels back on it. The thing's really responsive at the beginning. It almost seems like in the mid-range it has a little bit of a bog, but still it cruise on once you hit it. Once it hits full throttle. I mean, it's the first time this thing's running years. So that's kind of nice. But that's this whole, I'm just not into this whole moped four-wheeler mess. Got a mirror right there too. So, but as you can hear, it's running good. So I think what I'm going to do, I think what I might do is just put the panels back on it. It don't take much to put the panels back on. And just see. Let's see. Oh, it won't crank like that. There you go. So it just kicks right back on, which is good. Expanding my knowledge and learning, I guess. But yeah, so it seems like it's running fine now. I'd love to take it for a little ride down the block after I get all the panels and stuff back on it, but I just want to make sure I have enough gas in it. And I got to fix a couple of things like this, which has decided it wants to break. Gotta love these old plastic everything on these things. He wanted me to do some cosmetic stuff, but I think it's honestly just going to be a lost cause, and probably not going to end very well. But over, let's see, I'll get the panels back on and let y'all see it again, and it's getting kind of dark and need to wrap up for the day, and hopefully everything will be finished with this now that we got it running again, and it seems like it's behaving itself again, which is really good. Alright, so everything's back on. I just got the battery charging, so I think that's the reason why the turn signals and stuff aren't working. But the headlights work, and that kind of makes sense because the headlights would not work when the engine was not running, but the turn signals would. So that means the turn signals were tied directly to battery power, or should, and then the headlights are, you know, if you have a dead battery, I guess it's kind of like that get you home mode or whatever. Other things I did here, I literally just put a screw in this to keep it on there, and then I haven't touched these yet, but there's only so much I'm going to be able to do on an all plastic body, so I think it's just going to kind of be what it's going to be. I'll tell you what though, after this thing decided it wanted to stop smoking, and y'all, some of y'all might laugh at me in the comments since I don't really know how to work on these, or I've never really worked on them. I may know now, but sitting here giving it everything it's got while it's sitting stationary seems to have caused the excess oil and smoke. So I'm wondering if this thing is tuned where it's got to have a load on it and it doesn't smoke like crazy when it doesn't have a load on it, unlike what I just did. The more you know, right? So I got it all back together. Battery's getting charged currently. Tomorrow should be ready to rock and roll, hopefully, and probably give it a quick cleaning and whatnot for them as well, especially since I let it sit outside for about 3 months. But that's good news, because this is the last big project that I have sitting here that I didn't neglect over the summer, but didn't really have time to work on over the summer, and getting it out. So I'm excited for that, because everything else pretty much is mine in the garage, except for that chainsaw sitting in that box right there, and that chainsaw sitting over there. Those are the only two things I really have left to repair that are not mine currently here, if I'm remembering correctly, which makes me feel really, really good, because I've had these lingering over my head for a little while. So I'm excited to be able to get these things out of here, hopefully. Let's see how it does tomorrow after I get the battery charged, put it in. We'll see if it cranks with the button. Because what it was doing was when I was releasing the button over there, it would spark momentarily and then quit. So I don't know if there was something going on with the coil and the grounding. I wish I'd have shown that, but I didn't realize that. Number one, I kind of got a little frustrated, and I just was ready to be done with it. Well, didn't this come out nice, didn't it? Gave it a wash for them. I don't know what parking lights are on this, but it lights up the rear. I don't see anything on the front there. But yeah, so it's cruising along nicely now. Which is great. This morning I got it out and it was like I was trying to get it going and it kept cutting out on me as I was going up the road here, or the driveway, and I traced it down. Actually, it was just an ignition wire ground had gotten unplugged after I kind of fixed the ignition wire itself. This morning it was acting up. As soon as I plugged that back in, I got spark, and it's been running beautifully ever since. I rode it probably the equivalent of 3/4 of a mile up and back and down the driveway, because you're supposed to have a plate here in North Carolina to run a moped. And I got the neighborhood here beside me, but I mean, I feel like this thing's running just fine now, which is good. Gave it a good clean. I'll give y'all a look around it. This, I don't think, if y'all tell me, I don't know anything really about these things, but I don't think this thing's anything special in terms of a scooter or anything. I think it's just one of these Chinese retro scooters made by Tao Tao or something like that. It's a WC50-T2. Like I said, 2-stroke scooter, 50cc. This thing will get, though, for what it is. And, you know, seems to be fine. The guy wanted it because it was his dad's, and he just wanted it back fixed and running again. So gave the tank a good clean out. I'm pretty sure we purged all the water out of it. Carb was clean, so didn't really have to worry about cleaning the carb on it. And so I think it's going to be good for him for hopefully a while. You know, if he's going to store it, just run it out of gas or put some fuel preservative or stabilizer or something, and I think it'll be okay. The only gotcha is the rust in the tank, and really the only way around that is if I bought a new tank. But y'all know how sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find parts for these things. I was able to wash the tank out, clean it out, and everything seemed to be okay on it, so that was good. There's still a little bit of like a rust tinge in some of the gas this morning, but after I drained some of it out, it was it had turned back clear again. So that's really the only thing that could potentially provide issues with this. But everything else, I mean, it's cruising. It's got a fuel filter in it, so the fuel filter is going to catch any sort of extra rust or whatnot that may still be in there. Hopefully there's none in there. But either way, yeah, everything should be good on it. Again, I don't know, it seems like the ATVs and the scooters and whatnot are a little bit more frustrating to me to work on. I prefer to work on lawn equipment all day long as opposed to one of these. But, you know, for some people, who are really good customers and clients, you'll do a little bit extra for them sometimes, and this is just one of those cases. You know, don't expect this to be the norm on the channel by any means. We'll be back to lawn equipment. It's just, this is kind of the last big customer repair that I currently have in. That was more like a been sitting a long time, get it back going type deal, which is really nice. Now that this is done, it'll be gone here either today or tomorrow, and we'll be good for repairs. So hopefully you'll be seeing a lot of stuff, fixing my own stuff here before long. Again, we fixed a lot of my own stuff here, especially in October, but we'll get back on that pending I don't have any other large repairs that come in the next 2 to 3 months, which I don't foresee because the leaf season's close to being over, except for the pin oaks behind me. But yeah, so we had a relatively warm October and November here, which has kind of kept things moving along in terms of not only leaf pickup but grass. But I got tired of looking at this thing. I wanted to see it get fixed and get it back to the guy so that I can clean out some stuff around here. And it's going pretty well overall. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all got anything, any information, any tricks on these scooters, please feel free to put it in the comment section. I'm always learning. I don't know well, I feel like I don't know anything sometimes, but I don't know everything by any means. So any tips and knowledge that y'all have on these, feel free to put it in the comments section. Thanks again for watching this small engine repair, a little bit different with this 2-cycle scooter. We got it back up and running after it's been sitting for a really, really long time. Thanks again, y'all, and I'll catch y'all on the next video.